It's Christmas time in Berlin, and the Karl Forster Choir is practicing for the big night.
Noch mehr den Deckel hoch. Also das, was bei den hohen Tönen hilft.
The Christmas concert is the highlight of the season for them. This year, the title is Romantic Christmas. But with a week to go before the performance, there's still work to be done.
Lächeln Sie. Nee. Noch N, G und A.
The singers here are all amateurs. They rehearse together 3 times a week and have to practice at home, too. The choir can earn money from the Christmas concert, but only if they get everything spot on. That means the singing, the timing, and even the breathing.
Männer, das geht nicht.
The choir master complains that the men aren't breathing together. His name's Volker Hedfeld, and he's starting to get nervous. Volker says the choir's under pressure to produce a good concert. He doesn't want them to mess it up. But at the moment, things aren't looking good, and there's only 1 week left to practice.
2, 3, Sen. Sen, der Name sei gelobt. Der Name des Herrn sei gelobt. Der Name des Herrn sei gelobt.
Volker is ambitious, and he's fired up his singers. People like Vanessa Weiss. She explains that all the parts follow on from one another, and all the different keys fit together. If you finish one part even just half a key too deep, she says, then it won't flow into the start of the next one. Out on the streets, it's icy cold. So I head up to the warm apartment where Vanessa Weiss lives with her partner, Matthias Gabel. Matthias sings bass in the choir. Vanessa, soprano.
Mami ist schon da. Hallo.
Since their daughter was born, they haven't been able to go to choir practice together.
War Volker zufrieden mit dir?
So Vanessa reports back, telling Matthias there are still issues with some songs. They need to practice more. Matthias's job as an engineer keeps him busy. His wife works too, but they're both passionate about the choir. It's almost like a second job, says Matthias. There are 2 or 3 practice sessions every week, and choir weekends too, not to mention concerts on the horizon. Their shared passion for the choral music is something that brings Vanessa and Matthias closer together.
Tröstet, tröstet, tröstet mein Volk, spricht der Herr.
The choir's leader has been particularly critical of the men. Matthias will have to practice a bit more.
Sanftmütig.
3 days before the concert, the sun is just coming up. And one particularly committed bass singer is up and training for the big night. His name is Michael Schuntemann. He tells me that performing a concert for an hour and a half is extremely demanding. High levels of concentration, stamina, and endurance are all traits you need to give the audience a good show, he says. That's the reason for putting in the miles on the exercise bike. He says it's very important to remain focused for the entire performance. There's no slacking. For Michael, this concert is like a marathon. After exercising, there's time to relax over a cup of coffee with his wife. They talk about the concert, and he explains to her why all the hard work is worth it. You have a much more intense connection to the songs when you have to work on singing them yourself, he says. Even if you were listening to the greatest baritone in the world, it wouldn't give you the same feeling as performing the songs yourself. When Michael retired 7 years ago, his wife bought him singing lessons. He was hooked straight away. In his second lesson, he says, the teacher asked him to sing Por mi tiro by Monteverdi. Studying the duet was a huge challenge. His wife urges him on. Her favorites are Michel's repertoire of love songs. A choir is, of course, made up of singers, but there are also some musical instruments involved. Choir Master Volker has come here to collect the heavy kettle drums with the help of his cellist.
He tells us there's a joint orchestra and choir session tomorrow, and the drums have to be moved to another practice room.
Volker saves money by transporting them himself. He says that churches charge high prices renting out the rooms. Tomorrow's session alone would have cost them 900 euros. And staging the concert is pricey too. There's advertising, soloists, the orchestra, and concert hall. All have to be paid for from the choir's own meager funds. Volker tells us that the total cost of putting on a choral symphony at one of the big concert halls is around 30,000 euros. He says that to get that money back and balance the costs, they need to sell at least 1,000 tickets. The Christmas concert is smaller. The choir expects around 300 people to attend. Many amateur choirs have ended up shutting down, racked in debt. Public funds are increasingly important to keep choirs going. That money means the Karlforster Choir can pay Volker Hedfeld as choirmaster. He's the only one who earns a small income. He makes up his earnings by leading other choirs and teaching music.
Ja, dann haben wir's. Super.
It's Saturday now, the day before the concert they've been practicing so hard for. The musicians and singers have come together for the dress rehearsal. But after working at it for 3 hours, it's still not perfect. Volker complains. He says that when he lifts up his elbow and really tries to keep the others with him, they're all looking away, looking at the notes. What is he supposed to do, he asks. When the practice is over, singer Indu Rani Sinha heads home. She's a soprano. This close to the concert, she's using every spare moment to practice. It takes her 3/4 of an hour to get from one place to another in Berlin, she says. She uses the time to look through her notes, read the texts until she knows them off by heart, and hum the tunes to herself. She does whatever she can to get ready for the concert.
Ehre sei Gott in der Höhe und Friede auf Erden. Ehre.
Finally, the big day arrives.
In der Höhe und Friede auf Erden und den Menschen
Dann kann's losgehen.
They needed 300 spectators. 450 have come. A successful start to the night. Even Matthias is in top form. The audience is thrilled. And for the singers, it's an emotional moment. This woman says it was hard work, but good. Michel says he's still running on adrenaline, but it was a great concert. And Volker says the concert was good. Turnout was good, and it looked like everyone enjoyed themselves. So all the weeks of practice paid off, and soon the choristers will start work on the next concert.